All right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of the pod. What are we on now? 13?
Yeah, you always get it right. So yeah, we probably are on 13. Let me
We're
see.
probably on 13. We did 12 last time.
No,
But
actually, no. I think
no
this
way we're
is
already on 14.
yeah, this is 14. Yeah.
Well, welcome back to episode 14. And this time we have special guest Travis Henning. Everybody give him a round of applause. What's up, man? How we doing?
Good. How are you?
I am dying, but we're surviving, dude. We're good.
Yeah.
My body hurts. I'm starving, but you understand the pain, don't you?
Well, yeah, you're putting me through the same shit. So
So Travis is one of my very, very good friends, but also a client of mine too. So he is going through a cut as well right now, pushing him decently hard, probably harder than he's ever pushed before. But it's going very well. How many pounds are you down now?
I weighed myself this morning. We're down another 4 pounds this week, so I think it's like
Jeez.
33.
Jesus Christ! You dropped another
I
4
know,
this
dude.
week, and
I
and I
know.
want you to. I want you to tell everybody what you said to me last week.
Yeah.
What'd you say to me last week?
We were down exactly 1 pound, and I was like, "Fuck it all. I'm done. Just give me a cinnamon roll. Someone call it quits."
He lost a good chunk of weight every week.
Yeah, we're at 7 weeks, 33 pounds.
That's fucking insane, bro. That's insane. Yeah, it was funny, and Matias, I know you probably have run into these situations before too. But I'm looking through check-in, and like at the end, I always have questions, just like how's your mental? How can I do better as a coach? Blah blah. And in that, he put on there, he was like, man, he was like, I did everything I was supposed to, blah, blah, blah. I only lost 1 pound. What the fuck? Because he had been losing, dude, probably 4 or 5 pounds, like in between 3 and 5 pounds a week, every single week from the start. And I told him, I was like, dude, like if that honestly surprised me, that much weight every week consistently like that, like you can't expect those kind of results forever. So,
No, usually not. And
but
honestly, when I have people dropping like, let's say 3, 5, 4, 2.5, 3 again, stuff like that, and then I see like a 1 pound or like a point 0.8, I always tell them it's like, now this makes more sense. And I always,
yes.
yeah, and I will explain and I reassure them like, you were living an exception to the rule because, like you just said, it's not sustainable. It can
Mm-mm.
happen, absolutely, but it's not going to happen forever. So
Yeah.
when I see that point 0.8, 1 pound, or maybe like a little bit over 1 pound, I'm like, okay, this is makes more sense. This is more sustainable as a fat loss
Yeah.
rate. And I tell them because if we keep losing 3, 4, 5 pounds a week, there's a point where that's not gonna be from fat. It's not gonna be from
Mm,
water. It's not gonna be because you took a shit before your weigh in. We're gonna
yeah.
start tapping into like muscle that we don't want to do that.
Mm,
So I don't. I would even say like I don't like that big of a fat loss rate for so long. At the
yeah.
beginning of a fat loss phase, yeah, that's expected. That's perfectly fine. But middle or towards the deep end of the fat loss phase, I don't like to see that. I would rather just push, bring a little bit more food in or lower the cardio a little bit, give the person a nice break, and just slow down the fat loss rate. They're gonna feel better. They're gonna do better, and they're gonna even look better as well.
Yeah. And it's crazy because that's exactly how mine has gone so far. Is like I've had maybe 1 week where I didn't lose 3+ pounds. Um, and obviously, like, especially for Travis too, a big reason why that happened, especially at the jump, is because he's also using Reddit too. So there's a
Oh
little bit
yeah,
more.
yeah.
There's a little bit more in play than
Yeah.
than just the cardio and the food. So that plays a huge part. But this has been something that I've been seeing with that from a lot of people, and especially from my experience with Reddit. I know I've talked to you about this, but Travis, have you felt, other than the first probably few days, any type of appetite suppressant? The food noise, sure, but the appetite suppressant part, do you feel like you are any less, like do you feel like you're not hungry at all ever?
No, I think like the first like initial week, you're like the idea of food was just not there. Like even like
Yeah.
after like a hard lift or something like that, you're like I'm just not
Hmm.
hungry. But like after
Yeah.
that first week comes and goes, and then like you're still going to the gym or still after a cardio session like ravenous. Like I was
Yeah.
like I'm just gonna eat my 2 eggs, but that's still not enough.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
definitely the food noise is gone for the, most of the part. But like yeah, my hunger is still off the charts. So
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly how it is for me. Was it like that for you, Matthias?
Me? Well, you gotta consider that I'm on a growth phase, so I'm eating
Yeah,
like
no,
that.
but weren't you using it when you were in a cutting phase though?
No.
Oh, so you brought that in your off season phase?
Yeah. What I
Okay.
like, I actually haven't. As funny as this sound, actually, I'm just realizing that as well. I haven't used a GLP-1 for any fat loss phase ever. Like the tirzepatide experiment that I did before even starting with Dom, I was also sort of in a growth phase.
Yeah.
I didn't even feel any hunger suppression. I didn't feel for shit on that one, but it
Yeah.
did lower my fasting blood glucose. So yeah, it worked.
Was
And
that where you were when you were in like the 60s, 70s?
no, no, no. This was also like, I would say like I was pretty much in the same spot as I am now, like 90
Hmm.
something, and then I don't like the 90s. It could be
Yeah.
good, especially on the growth phase. Yeah, it's fine, whatever. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
So
Same.
my obsessive behavior was like, okay, let's try to bring it down, especially since I
Yeah.
was taking GH at the time. So that could also play a part. So then I brought that in, it lowered it, improved things, and but then I haven't used a GLP-1 for a fat loss phase at all. Actually, that's gonna be fun.
Well, I'll tell you from I'm sure Travis will say this too. It works well. It works
Oh,
very well.
I don't doubt it. It's working on a growth phase. I'm
And
sure that's how it works in
and
fat loss.
he's been dude, I like he has not had to push. I think we had you at point 0.1 a
yep.
week for how many weeks?
We just increased to 0.2 for every 5 days this past
Yeah.
week.
Like dude, he responded like freakily well to with the Retta. Like he
Wait,
didn't have
point
to.
two, like 0.2 milligrams?
No. So when you dilute it, so it's like the same amount that I'm doing basically. He just does less times a week. So he's
Okay.
only doing point 0.1 per week is what he
Okay,
was
so
doing.
1 milligram a week, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Gotcha, gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha. I was like
Yeah. So
0.1 milligrams and then getting those effects. I'm like,
no
Jesus.
no 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 no. Just the like the dosage in the syringe.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that worked pretty well. But it's been cool. One of the biggest reasons I wanted to have him on was because and we could probably use 5 6 hours of the day talking about your entire beginning to end life story, but I do want you to kind of run the people through just the big events and the changes that have happened over the last couple years, because I feel like you are a great representation of what it's like to go from the average American, where you were living that life of that was just stress, chaos, lots of different things. And I'll let you kind of touch on, your struggles and stuff within that. But I feel like people think guys like me and you are just born like this. Like we're born, being like loving the gym and being consistent and being, all these things. And really those people like we're made into that, right? And Travis has done an insane job of just like transforming over just the last like couple years. It's been insane. So yeah, I mean, just give us a little rundown of kind of who you were before, what you were doing, what made you want to get into the fitness thing, and kind of like what brought you here now.
Yeah, cool. I would say first, calling myself an average American is very generous. I would say I was probably below average for a long
I
time.
wanted to be
Um,
nice.
but definitely, I would consider myself below average American for probably most of my adulthood. But so a big thing for me is one, and first and foremost, I'm a recovering alcoholic, and that kind of got me into the whole entire fitness thing as far as mentally fit as well as like spiritually and physically fit as well. So I think the
Yeah.
first obstacle for myself that I faced, and basically when I first met Caden, it's been almost 5 years ago.
Yeah, dude, it's been
Dude,
that long, or that's
yeah,
crazy.
almost 5 years.
That's nuts.
He was also a skinny little guy that was
Yeah.
as little tiny dude that wore the same exact plaid pants every day to work. But
Hey, when you hate your job, you're not spending extra money on hundreds of
no.
dollars of pants, bro.
But so chunky dude. Obviously, when you live off of beer and whiskey, it doesn't do well for your physique. But so definitely looked like I had high blood pressure. Probably definitely did have high blood pressure. But
You were a little red sometimes.
I
always
was gonna
red.
say that, like, someone has high blood pressure when they are always blushed.
They're red, yeah.
No, exactly. Somebody showed me a picture of some dude the other day, and that was the first thing that I said was like, "Oh, he has high blood pressure."
Yeah.
For sure, it's that swollen face with the Santa Claus
bro.
red cheeks.
Yeah.
But that was my life. In and out of the bars constantly. So, but finally got sober. I want to say the biggest thing and the biggest catalyst for myself for change, and Caden touched on it, is like people like us, we're not born, we're made, but it's pain.
Yeah.
Pain is a huge thing for me, and I think the realization for myself personally that I can determine how much pain I'm willing to accept is what made me
Mm-hmm.
kind of change into a person that I would like to be. So for a long time, and I think a lot of people live their life and think like, oh, this is just okay, this is acceptable, this is fine. I'm
Yep.
fine with feeling like shit all the time. I'm fine with having a hard time moving. I'm fine with being depressed or anxious all the time. And the realization, like, I can preset my pain threshold and determine like how much shit I'm willing to deal with,
Yeah.
is huge on becoming change for anything. So the first hurdle for myself was definitely recovering physically, and then was definitely a spiritual journey. I dealt with depression and anxiety, and you fill in the blanks there of anything
Yeah.
else you want to add in. And when I finally felt like I conquered that hill, the next big thing for myself was the physical aspect of it. So initially, at first, I was a skinny little dude. I thought I could do it myself. And then I was like keto for like 6 months or some stupid shit. And then,
You
and then
see
I
it all the
got
time.
into kickboxing for a long time, and then started competing for kickboxing. And that's when I finally met Caden, and then well, not met him, but we like crossed paths at the gym, and he made
Yeah.
fun of me for vaping while I was doing hip adductors. Um,
Yeah, that
but
shit pisses me off.
Yeah,
I
we
hate it.
spoke about that.
Yeah, we did. We did.
and then we just ended up, working together, and then determined that like, for me myself physically, first of all, health is super important to me. But like this
Mhm.
whole mentality of like being proud of who I am and what I look like in the mirror, and like making my outside feel like what I look like inside, is super important to me. But talk about like somebody that's changed their lifestyle completely. I don't watch television at all anymore. Like I literally read 4 or 5 books a week.
Nice.
Really into work. Caden has me waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So on some insane like geriatric shit. In bed by 8:30. Like it's
Hey, just to
insane.
be
But
clear, I don't force him to wake up at 4. He just has to do that to do what he needs to do.
my fasted cardio. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's been a great journey, and Caden's kind of seen it before, during, and kind of where I'm at now. So it's been awesome to work with him. Literally, we had my desk was right beside his, and we both hated our jobs, so we both just talked to each other and decided not to work most of the time. So it's a sweet deal. But
That's why I got fired. So it's pretty sick. Yeah,
Now,
dude.
I
It's
do want to ask Travis. So, what are your current goals? Like, what are you trying to achieve now, and what are you trying to achieve, let's say, in a year from now?
like in terms of like my
Yeah,
physical
your physique.
fitness.
Sorry. Yeah.
So right now, my goal is to get this cut done and over with. Um, I there's one, I think I've told Kane this before, but like the only difference between me and my 600-pound life is I hate myself just differently. So I love food, freaking love food. So
Dude,
like
this
I'm
dude
ready
is a
to
chef, bro. Actually,
ready to
you
eat.
two would probably have a lot to talk about.
Like already prepping my first meal after this cut. Like gonna make like a short rib ragu. Like I'm fucking ready to go. But so yeah, so right now it's just like this cut, which I'm honestly enjoying way more than I thought I would. Like the cardio has been super, super satisfying. To get done first thing in the morning. Something about like being drenched in sweat at 7 a.m. is like just really gratifying. So, but
Yeah.
like right now, physically, I've never had abs before in my life. So I would like to see what that looks like. A year from now, I think Caden and I are going to try to get me on stage in the spring of 27. So that's the goal.
Nice. I wasn't sure if you were into bodybuilding or if you even follow it at all in social media. Maybe. No.
Yeah, here and there. I mean, I'm not really big into social media. Most of my social media is watching people cook food on TikTok, so I wouldn't say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah,
And that's what
just to say a difference. So I'm a very my childhood dream, just for like what Kaden said, my childhood dream was to be a chef. I used to watch the Gourmet channel a lot in Argentina. That's where I'm from. But I would say there's a difference because you said like a short rib ragu, and then I love cooking, but I would call it, I'm a very minimalistic chef. I like cooking simple stuff, but I like getting creative. Anything
hmm
that has like a big process, like short rib ragu, maybe, or even like what if Gordon Ramsay famous beef Wellington? There we
Beef
go.
Wellington. Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that. I would love to cook, but I really don't like get super excited to do something super elaborate. I like making simple stuff taste fucking amazing. That's my shit with the kitchen, and I also love anything that has to do with kitchen.
you do
Um,
that well, actually. So
yeah,
I've
I'm
come
actually,
to
I
find out.
surprise myself with my weird combinations. I mix food all over the place. I'm trying to get Caden to start putting. I actually got Caden to start putting fruit with his food instead of eating on the side. What do you
Oh
think
yeah,
about
fruit and cheese, fruit and savory food, always good.
Thank you.
I wasn't a fan at the beginning, but the one you told me to do the other day, I physically can't do that because I
Which one was
Yeah,
I
that?
it's a
don't
like
have it.
in that
But
aspect. I forgot to reply. I was gonna say like, okay, valid. That makes sense. But I'm
there's a
trying.
lot of things
Obviously,
I'm
I
gonna
need you to
do.
work with me on this. I'm trying to get him to try to mix chicken, rice, and banana, which he did already and he liked, and put almond butter on
Bro,
top.
I can't do the almond butter on top, bro. It's
I mean, I guess I
that
get it. It's like the
cannot be good.
it seems like a very umami kind of plate, like sweet, savory, salty,
Mm,
creamy, yeah,
yeah.
kind of thing.
It's so good. I fucking swear to
Yeah.
God, it's so good.
Do you
No
guys know
one that
who?
has tried it said that they don't like it.
A
Anyone.
lot of bodybuilders eat it. I've seen it a lot, a lot, a lot.
Yeah.
But probably in the off season. Do you guys know who Robert? Robert. Fuck. What's his last name? He's like a famous chef that was on the Food Network, had his own shows and
Irvine.
stuff. Yeah. You guys know who that is?
No,
Yep.
that sounds
He's the
familiar.
bald military dude.
Yeah.
He
He.
has his own
So
protein bars. They're terrible macros, but he has a protein bar out too.
Is
so I'm
it
at the gym.
Chef Rue or something like that? The Instagram, that
No,
guy.
Chef Rush. That's
Yeah.
not the same guy. Not
Okay.
the
Okay.
same guy. But I know who that is too. But Robert Irvine, he had shows on the Food Network or whatever it is for a long time, whatever. But I'm sitting at the gym, I'm eating food, and I'm sitting at the front. So like the front, you can just see the parking lot. So I'm sitting there, I'm just eating. This guy pulls up, gets out of this badass Bentley, and I'm thinking in my head, I I have to get that dude as a client. So like he comes in, he does whatever, and so I go up there and I ask him, not for coaching, but I asked him, if he had a mobile detailer or whatever, and he was like, "Oh yeah," he's like, "I do," but give me your information, blah blah blah. And I was like, "Cool." Walked away, and I was talking to my buddy in there, and I was like, we were just talking about that, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I tried to get this dude, as a client or whatever," and he was like, Robert Irvine or whatever. He was like, "You don't know who that is?" And I was like, "No, I have no idea who that is. I didn't watch the Food Network growing up, but I had no idea who I was even fucking talking to." And I'm glad that I am respectful and professional enough, or else that would have
I'm
been
trying
really
to look it
embarrassing.
up.
He had the, I think it
You
was the
probably
Restaurant Impossible was his show or something like
Oh,
that.
okay.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I know who that is.
yeah.
Always
So that dude
angry,
goes to
kind
my
of
gym.
like a military version of Gordon Ramsay. kind
He's
of
very
thing.
nice though.
Yeah,
He
I
doesn't
mean,
feel angry in person.
no, he seemed angry
No,
on
not
Twitter.
really.
Yeah,
He probably. I mean, he's
man, do it for the
military,
views.
so
Yeah.
yeah, right. But yeah, I mean, you guys are both. Well, actually, I don't know if Travis is spilling the beans at all on this, but Matias is also creating his own food company
Oh yeah.
Mm,
of sorts.
Oh wait,
If
you
yeah.
are as
if
well.
you wish to share anything about your ideas, you can.
Same.
But I also understand if you want to keep that under wraps, Travis.
Yeah. Yeah. Same. Yeah. So my idea, don't care. So but so my idea is I'm working on a micro and macro based protein supplement. So a lot of like protein things out there that you see, like the cookies and Quest and all these brands like that, focus on two macros, carbs and protein. And you eat them, and you're like, some of them taste like you're eating like chalk, and some of them are like clay putty almost. And it's like hit or miss which ones are good. And you like, at the end of the day, you're still like, okay, I don't think most people realize, but the only thing that you got was protein and carbs. So my idea is like Caden's huge on micronutrients in my food, and getting fuel for the right parts of the day. So I made a 12 cookie lineup. There's two cookies for each parts of the day. And the cookies not only have your macronutrients, your carbs, and your protein, but they're also packed with micronutrients to support that part of the day that you're supposed to be having. So, for example, like pre workout cookies with beta alanine and beetroots for nitrates. And then like a sleep time cookie
Bro,
full
shit's
of like
insane.
magnesium glycinate, and then there's like satiety cookies with green tea extract and stuff like that in it. So not just getting your protein in, but also like the important stuff that actually matters to fuel
Micronutrients.
your body.
Nice. Let me
Yeah.
ask you a question. For example, with the PM cookie with the magnesium, do you put the let's call it for lack of better terms. I don't know if you should supposed to say it like this. The dry supplement on the recipe, like on the mix, or do you put like an ingredient, like a food ingredient that has the micronutrient itself? So, for
So
example,
it's
let's say for
both.
beetroot, I know a lot of people put beetroot powder.
Yep. So both. It's I'm using both.
Okay.
So like I have a cookie that's a nighttime cookie that has dark chocolate and cherries in it, for like some
Ooh.
natural magnesium
I
glycinate.
bet that's
But
fire.
also there's a magnesium supplements in it as well, just enough to get your full benefit, because you're not, you know how much freaking cherries you're gonna have to eat to be tired.
A lot, yeah.
Yeah.
I was guessing it was that aspect, but I just want to make sure because I've never heard anything of it about like this. So I think that is fucking
That's what I
genius.
said. That's what I said, dude. And he sent me pictures of them. Fuck, they look good, bro. They look really fucking good. And I know, like Travis is a very good chef slash cook. Like some of the shit he's made over the years, like way back when when I started working at the company he worked at when I first met him. Obviously, he was not on this type of time, so he was
Yeah.
baking and eating and stuff, more stuff than that. But he would show me pictures and stuff of these giant spreads that he made the night before, and it's just like this is nuts. So I'm excited. I'm really excited for the show to be over so I can try some of them. Because that's what I said. I was like, I have not. What like what a better. There's no better mix of like convincing people with their bad habits to do something positive. Because like, what did you say the macros on like average macros on the cookies are? They're
They're
not very high.
220 with like 20 grams of protein, 220 calories. So
So it's like less than a lot of protein bars. The cookies are not
Wait. Now the
small
important
either.
question. Hold on. How much does each cookie weigh?
110 grams.
So that is a little bit under 4 ounces, huh?
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay. Decent size. Decent size. Yeah.
They're not
Yeah, they're
small
pretty big
cookies.
cookies. Yeah.
So I think it's really cool. I think it's something that could like for me personally, like that's something I would be able to do every single day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially if you're someone who's doing a protein shake a day or even two, like that replaces that and then some. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and my thing is like I
So
can never be that guy that does a protein shake. I don't think I've ever actually had a
I'm
protein
not a
shake.
fan.
Well, one
I'm
that I've
not a
never had
fan.
one that I've enjoyed, but one like as a meal replacement. There's just something like I have to eat something. Like I need food
Mm,
to feel
yeah,
like I did anything good. So never could do a
same.
liquid diet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Now, question, um, because I personally, this is from my own perspective as a customer for the cookies, right? I'm thinking sometimes when I see this protein desserts, I'm like, what if, and you may have thought about this before as well as like a side or like another chain, not like another byproduct of it, but without the protein, so people can have like, let's say, a normal meal with like
Mm.
chicken and veggies or chicken and whatever starches or fats they need to have, and then for the carbs aspect and a little bit extra of the micro, have the cookie. So for example, I'm thinking it of like, I don't really care to have like, let's say if someone's protein serving a meal, it's not that big, so now they will have like a very tiny amount of chicken or beef or whatever, or like
I see
one
what you're
egg.
saying.
Yeah, because they want to eat the cookie and they don't want to go over. So
Hmm.
I'm thinking making like the same flavor, but one's protein cookie, one's micronutrient cookie, but
Yeah,
just without the protein, so they can eat their protein serving, like their beef, their chicken, whatever it is, and then have like the cookie as a dessert. Have you
yeah,
thought
Hmm.
about
I think
that?
it's a good idea. No, I haven't, but yeah,
Yeah,
And I
just
think
like a
that's
thought.
I, I'm thinking too with, I guess that area would depend on only people like probably us here, would think about that.
Yeah,
The average person who's going and getting, because this is, like Travis, I assume this is kind of your goal, is to replace the really shitty ones that we were talking about earlier with, something that actually tastes good and does even more than what those do. So it's like the type of people that are running to the gas station and grabbing a Lenny and Larry's cookie, or whatever. Those type of people probably aren't
yeah, they
tracking their
probably even have
macros
the
super
protein.
meticulous,
Yes,
or
mm-mm.
they're thinking in their head micronutrients, protein, like they don't really think about what's my perfect macros for the day.
yeah,
They just
I
think, oh,
agree.
this is healthy, let me eat it.
Yeah,
So it'll hit, definitely hit both
No, for the general
demographics.
population, that aspect is fucking genius. I love that.
Yeah.
And just to like put it on my side, what I'm working on is a cream of rice company that is. I personally believe, like, look, don't get me wrong, I'm obsessed with the cream of rice companies that. Are you familiar with cream of rice, by the way?
I don't eat any, but I've Caden hyped him up when he was making his muffins for months. So
Okay, yeah.
Dude, I can't wait to have those fucking muffins again, bro.
So
Oh my god.
I am obsessed with cream of rice with that kind of product. Yet I think that they should not be charging 24 pounds for 24 bucks for a bag. So that is something that I'm diving into. Like, okay, I understand like some companies may have like a big overhead because of the sub companies, they delegate stuff to get it more expensive, whatever it is. I still feel you can get away with still getting some profit for charging much less and still making such a great quality product, which I've done it. Like I
So
already have.
you're gonna be able to cut prices too.
My goal is to give, because so for example,
I like that.
Elevate's bag is
Dude, it's
bigger
so
than Flavor
expensive.
Gang. Flavor Gang is more handmade, like hands on. So I
Mm,
understand they're a little bit higher overhead. Get it.
mm-hmm.
I still believe that I can get away with charging under 20 bucks per
Hell
bag
yeah.
with the same size as Elevate.
At least for a time being. Like
I
if
mean,
you were growing to the size of Elevate or something, I'm sure
I'm
that's
gonna
where.
I'm gonna put it this way: Young LA. Young LA, they were famous because they were bringing very high quality clothing for a very low price.
Yeah,
They the owners came out, and I follow you. You know Giordani, you don't like him, but
yeah.
I used to follow him a lot
Hate
when
that
he
guy.
was more normal as well. And he came out with because he was very close with the owners, and he was saying they are able to charge this low because they don't keep that much of an overhead. They don't keep that much of a profit.
Hmm.
So yeah, they may, instead of like getting 20 bucks per clothing piece, they get five, but they're able to give us such a high quality product to people so they can afford it, they can use it, and that's how they got so big. They
And now
closed.
they don't do that.
I still believe that their clothes are still not as expensive as others for the quality.
Well,
I
bro,
haven't
but
looked. I
the
haven't
Well,
looked
quality
at
you
them
can.
in a
is.
Well,
while though.
yeah, I hate Young LA, but I think all my Young
Right
LA
now, I hate
clothes
them too though.
fell apart.
Yeah,
But I
same.
mean, the problem is they're willing to they can charge a lot of money, and it's not because of they're not cheap. I mean, they're definitely not cheap anymore. There's like $80 for sweatpants, but
That's
the
what I'm saying.
scarcity
Wow.
there's a
And the
scarcity
quality's
in
not as
profit.
good.
No, yeah, they get away with charging so much because of the scarcity they throw on the market. Like they have a huge
Yeah.
marketing campaign with all these names, but they only sell like 20 pairs of sweatpants,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
then they're out. So
Yep.
So they actually changed because at the very beginning their sweats were like $30, $40.
No, they did.
yeah,
Yeah, they changed, and they
So
also somebody had posted. This is when I started noticing this, but somebody had posted that was maybe a former with them, or I don't remember, but they were talking about how they switched manufacturers, and
mhm.
the literally the next time after I saw that I bought something, that's when my sweatpants started ripping after 2 months. That's when
yeah.
I washed a sweatshirt for the very first time. I'd had it for a day. All the lettering came off,
Oh, okay.
Yep.
and it shrank. Every single sweatshirt I've bought from them has shrunk. I
All my shorts
physically
fall
can't dry
apart.
them.
Like the pant line where like
Yeah.
the drawstring is like just
Yep.
deteriorates from
Yep.
friction on the bench constantly. Yeah, the
Yeah.
lettering, the 3D lettering, and plus they're so expensive now because they have all these licensing deals with like
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh and all that crazy stuff.
Bro. Yeah. Dark
So
Sport's the
I
worst with that.
actually
They're just like, just take a bunch of anime icons and just throw them on the shirt.
so I would say like I then got lucky because as far as I can remember, I only had issue with only one pair of shorts that I still use for my leg day. So it's recent.
Yeah.
So I can
Yeah.
align with the changing manufacturers. But I still have t-shirts that I bought in probably 2022 that are intact.
Oh
Same with the
yeah.
khakis.
They're old shit. That's why I started
Yeah.
buying their stuff.
So
Because I agree it was very good
yeah.
quality
So
and
going
low
back to
price.
the cream of rice perspective, that's what I want to do. When I spoke with Mackenzie, so she's my
Yeah.
partner in this. Um, and I'm like, I would rather give people the ability to buy a lot of cream of rice for cheaper without spending an arm and a leg. And
Hmm.
yeah, maybe we don't make $15 per bag. Maybe we make seven. We're still
Hmm.
making profit and we're still giving them such a fucking great product. So I'd rather do that. And then maybe if later on we need to go through a manufacturer, whatever you want to call it, where they do everything in bulk, and that increases overhead, then we'll see. But at the beginning, if we can bring a bag of cream of rice for 15, $18, maybe 20, fuck it, let's do it. Yeah, we'll keep
Yeah.
less profit, but I always thought cream of rice as it is was expensive as hell, so I want to make it not expensive as hell so people can buy it. And also, so beef stew can stop saying that people
Fucking
buying
beef
so
stew,
many cream of
dude.
rice. It's crazy. The goal actually is to make him try it and like it.
That would be a huge feat because he is a very big hater on that shit.
Yeah.
I feel like you kind of have to do that at the start when you're essentially fighting massive companies. You know, it's kind of like, what am I? I mean, it's kind of like with coaching, right? You just start coaching. Why should anybody give you their money or their time,
Yep.
right? So it's like you post free stuff, you give the value up front, get people's trust, and then yeah, once people are, I love this shit, you jack up the price, bro, they're still gonna fucking buy it. So you see that with literally every product that jumps. It's
As
like
long
it
as the
starts low.
quality is better than the other competition, absolutely, which I'm
Yeah,
pretty
of
sure it is.
course. Well, like if your cream of rice tastes like shit and it mixes like shit and all those things, I'm not gonna buy it in the first place. So, but I've seen it and it you know what I'm gonna be doing all off season?
Mm.
Your cream of rice, make me up a bowl, grab probably two if we're being realistic of Travis's cookies, break them bitches up, dump them in, and I'm just gonna be fucking munching, dude, and I'm gonna feel great about
Use
it.
the cookie as a scoop.
Yeah, you need to make cookies with dips in the middle, Travis, so I can
Yeah, there you go.
so I can use that. But
Like
no,
Phil
it's
Vez always posts is that he uses the cookie butter flavor with Biscoff cookies. He just uses to like
I'll
eat
just
it.
If I was 260 lean, I'd do shit like that too. God damn it. But yeah, it's I think both of your guys' things you could do very well with, especially the spaces you're in now. And I know, like you said earlier, you didn't know if Travis was like really into the bodybuilding thing or whatever. But I think, and again, this is why I think me and him have clicked so much, because there's a lot of things that are very similar. Like you said with the pain earlier, Travis, and also like with the bodybuilding thing, you didn't get into. Would you say the only reason you knew any extent about bodybuilding was like from getting to know me more and me
Yeah.
doing it, or did so like that's exactly where I was when I was in his position, right? Where you're living a fucking degenerative lifestyle. You feel like shit. You hate yourself, and your entire life is just kind of that miserable and that pain, right? And then you get into the gym, you start getting healthier, your mental image starts getting better, so then your internal talk starts getting better, and you kind of just like fall into the. I think you even said this to me one time where it's like, okay, we've been doing this for a year, we've made great changes. Um, what's going to keep me in here and keep me grinding? You know what I mean? And it's kind of like Travis is already bodybuilding. I mean, this motherfucker is like makes me feel bad about myself. That's how much like to a T he's been the entirety of the time we've worked together. So it's like you're already doing it. Like fucking display what you're doing on stage, and that's kind of where what happened to me is just I kind of like fell into it, and it was kind of that thing that would, and who knows, you might get up there, and go through a prep, Travis, and get on stage and fucking hate it. Cool, doesn't matter. You know what I mean? At least you know that that's not the thing for you. But ultimately, what the gym, fitness, health has brought you over the last couple years is not something you're gonna revert back on, no matter
No,
what, no matter if
100% not.
bodybuilding
Yeah.
is in the picture or not.
Yeah. I think,
And
and for
Um,
myself
I may
mentally,
offer a
like,
piece of advice is like, let's say on the case that you go through a prep and you absolutely hated it, I always tell people try to still finish through, because the mental toughness that a
well,
prep
of course,
going all the way through a prep will teach you is it's unexplicable. Like there's no price to put on that. It's gonna change your perspective, change the way that you can put your head down and work for whatever else you want to work on in an unexplainable way. Like it
yeah,
is
yeah.
incredible, and at least you
Yeah.
can also say that you did it.
Yeah. 100%. And, for myself, yeah, there might be the chance that I get on stage and I freaking hate it. One, I do love attention, but not that kind. So,
not that
um,
many eyes though, huh?
yeah, not that many eyes. But who knows what that's going to turn out to be. But yeah, I think I've proven to myself over the last like 4 or 5 years that I have the mental fortitude to basically do anything.
Anything,
Um,
bro.
but but for the same thing, like there's just this community that you build with inside of the gym, especially when you get people that really care about their health in a proper way. Um, and like it's insane. Like, I was telling Caden the other day, like I go to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning to do cardio. And there's this 75-year-old woman who gets on this treadmill and just freaking books it. Reads her books and just books it. And I'm thinking like that's the kind of person that I need to be with. Like the 75-year-old who is still pushing it to this day.
Yeah,
She doesn't like, and I just said I think she's just one giant wrinkle at this point in time. But
he did, bro. I
she's
died when
just
you
like
said that.
she's awesome. And it's just like the people like that you meet. It's not even like the huge dudes that you meet in the gym or anything like
Hmm.
that. It's the people that walk up to you. And there's this one girl that came up to me and she's just like, I watch you all the time, and like you just inspire me to like push myself more. And this network that you build within the community is just not something that you find anywhere else. So I
Yeah,
don't think so. Even if I get myself on the stage and I hate it, um, the changes that I've been able to do in my life from just being happy and healthy are worth continuing. Even if I look like a bodybuilder and never step on stage ever but once in my life, it's worth the payoff and the dividends that you get from showing up and being consistent. So,
a
Absolutely.
million
Even
percent,
if you
dude.
don't even go through a prep, it's just that what you're just saying about showing up and you're being happy is just you're emitting a different vibration a different energy, and people can feel it and people get attracted to it. So that's why
Hmm.
you get much better connections. That's what you get much better quality of people in your surroundings and approaching you. And when you have this kind of vibration, people are not intimidated to approach you. People feel like they want to say so, like, I need
Yeah,
to talk to this guy, like I need to say something. And that is a very powerful place to be, honestly.
yeah,
Well,
and
I think I
it'll
would give
just
off the vibrations if I could fix my face. Caden would, a
if
perpetual
you
like resting bitch face. I've
yeah,
had people come
but
up to me in the gym before and be like, "Do we have a problem?" And I was like, "I didn't even know you existed, so probably not." Like,
no. But even then, like even before, like when I started working at Royal with you, like you don't have a, even with that, because I have that too, but I still have the same interactions. Like he's always had a good energy about him, at least once you start talking to him and stuff. So it's like it's been 10x since doing all of the internal work and things like that. And I think that is the real catalyst for all of this. So many people try to go through these things, and even if they get a coach or something, they don't do the internal work, and it just, like, I made a post the other day about my first prep. Right, shredded, first of my class, super fun, whatever. I killed that prep, but I was miserable afterwards. I, had the physique great, but the internal was horrible. And I had done, I didn't have the ability to multitask responsibilities. I, lost a job, lost a car throughout that prep, fucking drained my bank account irresponsibly. So like there was a lot of internal shit that was fucked. And now looking to this prep where it's like I'm doing more than I ever have. Now, we're 4 weeks out. I'm losing it a little bit at this point, but but for the most part, I've been able to maintain things. So I think that is the number one thing that's kind of hard to, as a coach, it's kind of hard to like explain the necessity behind that side of things. Now, some people are just good in a good spot and they just roll whatever. But some people, like, you know this is almost what, 2 years we've been working together. There was a little break in the middle of there,
yeah.
but like this is the type of people that you get these kind of results with, because they give the time to really dive in, and they don't come in and say, well, I need to be fucking Ronnie Coleman within 2 months. I need to. They're just where Travis was, like a breaking point where it's like, hey, I hit the rock bottom. I've done this and that. Like I'm just ready to change whatever I need to do. So people
I
coming
think
in with
the
that
answer
mindset
comes
usually get a lot
into
better.
it's not necessarily the how, it's the why.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
and then for the answer to, and I don't know who I was talking to the other day, but I was talking to somebody and said, the answer to every problem that you have in life, finances, mental struggles, stress, anxiety, depression, physical fitness, is always going to be love yourself more. And
Hmm.
that cures every ailment. Whether it's
Yeah.
financial means, like you're draining your bank account, or you like don't know how to like sacrifice something because you love yourself enough to do it. The same thing
Hmm.
with physical aspects, like how to get the mental stability and the fortitude to grind every day. It doesn't come out of hate, and I think that's where a lot of people get stuck in the gym, or like stuck in physical fitness, as they look at themselves and they like hate themselves so much that they have to do this to feel better about themselves. And that's the
Hmm.
exact opposite's the answer, is that I love myself so much that I'm willing to do what it takes to feel and look the way that I want to. And if you
I
just
want to
wrap your head around
challenge
that,
you right now.
yeah,
I want to challenge you right now to that thought
go for
because
it.
I completely agree. But how would you say how would you frame that perspective for someone going through a breakup? Because the breakup
I hate these people. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Yeah.
hey, the breakup glow up
Answer.
is real. Don't get me wrong.
I know,
But
but
usually those
go ahead and
people
answer.
are like pretty much hating themselves
Yeah.
because they got broken up with for
Yep.
whatever reason. So they start belittling themselves. So they go there and they are like angry. That's their motivation. But how would you say that in a like, or reframe that for them to realize that this is actually coming from a place of love instead of
I don't think I need to reframe it. I think that you probably need to reframe your thought process behind it. I don't think there's a reframing to the answer. I think the answer is still the same. But if you talk about sustainability behind effort, your sustainability behind effort from hate versus your sustainability behind effort from love is two totally different concepts. So if you're going into the breaking point of like you just went through a breakup, the fact that you're going to go through it for 8 to 12 months to look really good until what happens, until you get happy and complacent in another relationship. And then what happens? You put on 30 to 40 pounds and you look like a dad. Because
That's
you
why
hated
I said I
yourself.
hate it.
You hated yourself and you pushed yourself out of hate. And you fueled your fact of like, I'm going to show you what I'm capable of. You're going to regret ever leaving me. From the complete opposite mentality is like, what if you did it out of love? You're going to keep doing it because you still love yourself a year and a half from now. So the question's still valid, but the mental aspect behind of, well, why am I doing it? Like I said, it's not the how. They got to the same. The how was still the same. It's the why.
And that's the reason I don't like that, because for that exact thing, right? You were letting someone else control how you felt, which is not, and like you said, that's not going to last. Like,
No.
no matter what, dude, like the longest relationship I had before Kaylee, it was like 4 years. Like you get in that relationship in high school and you feel like, oh, if we ever break up, like I'm going to fucking die. And then it's like a month and a half later and you're fucking chilling. Then what? There's no there is no motivation, and that's why people tell you like motivation's gonna drop. If your motivation is hate or whatever. But once you get to the point that we're all at, and me and you talk about this all the time, guys, I couldn't. I know how good I feel. Not just fuck, how you look, how good you feel, like what goes on inside your mind, like that you learn to love that feeling. You get addicted to that feeling. You're no longer addicted to fucking, drowning your sadness and issues with food or alcohol or whatever the case may be. So just like, you said it's, if you're going to do it out of like that hate and spite, and to me, it just looks corny. Sorry. It's corny. It's corny.
Oh, yeah.
I never started going to the gym because fucking I wanted to, fight my demons from a girl. That's just my opinion. I know a lot of people that's a very strong thing for them, but and if you're the type that does do that, and hey, here you are 2 years later, and you're still doing the thing, good for you. You know what I mean? Everybody has
I was
their
gonna say
difference of
that. I
things,
wouldn't
but
say like it's a valid excuse to use it as, but if it gets you going and then it carries over, then you start liking it. Because I see a lot of people that do that. It's like, yeah, I started because of after a breakup, whatever, and then I started liking it, and I just kept going.
yeah,
Okay, wonderful, great. I personally kind of relate because, yeah, was I depressed or hurt, whatever, from girls what before? Yeah, but I never went through an actual breakup. Like Angelica is my first serious relationship,
yeah,
especially for this long. So I don't even know what that
yeah.
experience is.
You're already in there
I
and
have no
doing
idea.
it. Yeah.
I'm like, I'm good. I'm just asking
Shit, we
for
don't
like
need
improvement.
the progress you make already, bro. I hope to God that never happens, because fuck, dude, you'd be
Mr. Olympia next year.
Nick Walker 2.0. Yeah, you'd be a freak. Yeah, no, nah, just couldn't do it. Not for
No,
me.
it's
I'm gonna
funny
But
that you ask
Chihuahua.
that question though, because Caden will tell you. I went through a breakup this summer, so I'm a lone wolf. If that's anything the life's taught me, I thrive by myself, and then I get myself into a relationship, and I'm the complete opposite guy. And so like I went through the breakup but that's like 6 months ago. But I had the foundation, the basis of getting this stuff done to where I wasn't that guy that like threw myself into the gym or anything like that. But it's the same thing. Like I think about there's only two motivators in life when it comes to changing habits or behaviors. We're only motivated by two things. And if you can prove me wrong, I'll be the first. It's going to be pain and fear. And everything that we do in life and everything that we change about ourselves is always motivated from pain or fear. And where those pain and fears come from is kind of what determines our sustainability of the actions and behavioral changes that come afterwards. And so, like, I think that's the prime example of like, yeah, I've never had to worry about going into the gym because I've never had the pain of being alone or the pain of being
Yeah.
abandoned or something like that behind it.
Yeah.
But if you can prove that wrong, pain and fear are the only thing that changes what you do in life. So
I love that because as I've grown and as my mental has changed and as I became a person who really did become because I used to be like highly negative, bad, really bad. One of my best friends told me one time, he's like, dude, like, not gonna lie, basically don't talk to me because you're so negative. I don't want to deal with you anymore, pretty much. That's when things started to change, right? And I started to stop, why are they getting this and I'm not? You know, why is this happening to me? And I started to just, flip that mindset. And now I'm in a place where I was thinking about this the other day. I highly believe nothing is inherently, good or bad, right? So when we look at things like fear, peer pressure, that those kind of things that come with negative connotations, right? Pain, those negative connotations, well, if you just have a different perspective, I love fear. I do a lot of things out of fear, but not out of like, oh, I fear for XYZ, so I have to do this. It's more of like I fear not being, the top of my potential. I fear not being these positive things. Peer pressure. Dude, Matias, you know this from working with TM, being inside of ECA, like that every message that comes in, every win that comes in, that's peer pressure, right? But it's peer pressure to make more money, help more people, get better, learn. All of those things can be weaponized for such a good positive outcome, but you have to flip your mindset, right? If you run from fear and you run from these different things, or you put yourself in environments and surround yourself with people where that peer pressure is going to lead you to being an alcoholic or a drug addict, or not doing the shit you need to do, skipping the gym, eating like shit, you're going to become those, the the sum of your environment. So I like that you said that, because it's all a perspective thing. That's
yeah,
literally all it is.
yeah, I'm the same
And
way
when you
with
see those
pain.
different
Like
perspectives, it's yeah.
freaking love pain. I like to say like the most masculine and macho thing that people say is like I have such a high pain threshold. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, that's such a pussy thing to say. It's like, okay, so you're willing to deal with so much shit before you change. I have the
Yeah,
world's smallest pain threshold. I barely deal with anything before I'm just like, all right, let's figure out like something's got to give, something's got to change. I can't do
yeah,
this much longer. So
Well,
like
that
for
could
me,
also
pain
mean
is
that they
super
can
beneficial.
push through the pain much longer or much deeper than the average. Like
But
again, it's a matter of
why?
perspective.
But why would you? Like, I think that's the thing. Is like,
not in terms
it's
of
this
not in terms of like the
societal
gym.
pressure to be like, oh
No, no,
yeah,
no, no, no.
what a
Yeah, I just meant of, like just mentally. Like they
Mm-hmm.
can. So, for example, something that, let's say, not like actual pain, but it can be overwhelming, it can be draining, it can be exhausting. Some people can push longer before they need to take a little step back. In regards to, it can be even when like work or whatever, they can just work more and have that mental pain or threshold, more mental tolerance, whatever you want to call it, than others, so they can push a little bit longer, if you want to call it that way. I still agree with your point. Like, yeah, of course, if we're not talking gym wise, then it's not that good. But if we put it in a different perspective, then that's what they could mean. I'm not speaking
well,
for them.
Well,
and I get where you're
relationships
coming
as
from.
well.
I get where you're
I
coming
think
from, but like,
relationships is the biggest like example, though. I think for Travis's point, because it's like if you're in a relationship, have a relationship with, whether it's family, friends, partner, whatever it may be, if you're, to Matthias's point, like dealing with it, more than others would, like where maybe Travis would, the first red flag or the first issue, I'm not dealing with it, cut it off. Whereas like Matthias, your mindset is more like, push through, make things work, whatever. Like in that example, I think each scenario, whether we're talking about relationships, whether we're talking about work, whether we're talking about whatever it is, that can kind of switch. Because like if
Yeah,
you're like me right now, if I'm trying to, always trying to grow the coaching business, but then also starting this other thing and also trying to get through prep, I can't take there's too much push and pressure here. I got to back off from something. Like I have to push through the pain. I have to deal with this for longer because I don't have the ability to take the foot off the gas right now. But when we come to the relationships or something, it's like we talked about earlier at the beginning, that Nate guy, not my friend anymore. It was his just presence. He lives 1,000 miles away. His just ability to talk on the phone or get on the pod, it's draining. I could not deal with that fucking relationship anymore. So I told him, I hate you. Goodbye. But he's a very bad person. So this is
So we can say it
whatever.
depends on the context we're talking about.
100%. I think, in my opinion, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I still think it's the same. I think we're talking semantics here, but it's the same thing.
Of course.
Like, are you willing? Like, if you're saying like, yeah, I need to cut ties with it. I think you're asking the question: should I cut ties because something's painful, or should I work harder because I know if I work harder, it'll be pain. There'll be less pain later on.
True.
It's the same question. Like, I think it comes about like what Caden was saying. Like, Jeff Bezos didn't get to Jeff Bezos' standpoint because he just like, I can take a bunch of pain forever. His was like, I can work my ass off really hard right now and eventually not work so much.
Yeah.
So pain was still the ultimate motivator, but he was willing to deal with it a lot less than some people would. Some people work 40 years of their life in a job that they hate and change nothing about
That's
themselves,
true.
even though they're in pain. They're still working 40, 60, 70 hours a week. Well, that person's pain threshold is super high, insanely high, but it's not low enough to change things about their life. It's not low enough to get the promotion or work harder to not work so hard. So pain is the ultimate motivator, but what are you doing with it? Where's that pain threshold cut itself off?
Yeah, we see that. That's the average person in our society today. Is like
100%.
You like, this is what pisses me off, and this is why for you, like, this is why I wanted to have you on here so bad, is because I'm tired of telling it to people from my perspective, because God damn it, they don't listen, because they look at my page and they just see the bodybuilder and, oh my God, well, of course you can do all this. But you came from the point of living like everybody else, and now you don't, and now you're on the other side seeing how like, people know they're miserable, but God, you have no idea how fucking miserable you are and how much you're lying to yourself every single day. Like, most people wake up and they look in the mirror and the fear of having to work harder, they're so conditioned to be content. Like that fear of like, oh my God, well, I got to work a little harder. It's just, it's so frustrating to see, because I know, grand scheme of things, thinking back, Travis, thinking back to day one, you sign up for coaching, you get to work. Does the pain and the hard work and all the hours you've put in, do you even feel those anymore? Like, do you even remember every single day of like hardship you had to go through to getting on track? Like,
God, no.
That shit's gone. Like
Yeah, for sure.
doesn't last,
Yeah,
and now you're left
stuck
with
on this idea of temporary pain, and it's like, it's such a crazy thing. And I tell myself this all the time, because like, I mean, you get it. Like, you're hitting cardio and it's like 4 minutes left, and you're like, I should just call it quits right.
Dude, I swear to God, those last 5 minutes is like, holy, you're like, fuck, it's gonna take me out.
What did I get myself into? And then you're like, okay, well, this is like the probably the least, like, out of ranking all 5 minutes of my life in chronological order, this is probably some of the best 5 minutes of my life.
Yeah.
Like, what am I sitting here complaining about for? Like, that I have to spend 5 more minutes on the stair stepper. Like, that's so 100%. Like, no, I don't think about how terrible it was at first. But it's we're so caught up in this like society that's stuck on like an instant gratification that it's all about 5 minutes. It's all about that next 30 seconds.
Yeah. And and I feel like too, people think, and I have this trouble with even people in my life, whether it's family, Kaylee, whatever. It's like, I dig so much on the little things, because they don't understand what it's actually doing to your brain. And when the things that, we spend our time studying, Matias, like when we know how everything makes our body react, and we know that what we're seeing and what we're actually thinking about whatever's going on isn't how our body's interpreting it. So when I harp on the things you should do in the morning, your routines, your not being on your phone, before bed, or taking down your screen time, which is like impossible for us pretty much. But like those little things, like you said, we're so conditioned to those. The attention span is at an all time fucking low. It's terrible, really bad. I'm a victim to this too. You know what I mean? I'm not as on point as Travis is, to where he's not on socials all day and doesn't watch the TV and that kind of stuff. So it's like when I harp on these things for people, it's for this reason, because it's those tiny little habits every day are going to change how your brain functions and how your body
100%.
reacts. And
Yeah.
you get to that point where now, like for you, it's just autopilot. Like I was thinking about this the other day with prep. I'm like, I'm fucking exhausted. I'm starving all the time. But like, I don't think about doing these things anymore. And if people could just realize, like for you, you had been on Earth for and alive for 20. How old are you now? 29? 30?
30.
30. Just turned. Yeah, you just turned 30. So it's like, 28 years. I can't spend 8 to 10 months pretty much completely correcting everything bad I did in those, to my well-being in those, 30 years. It's like, it's really not, you're not giving a whole lot of your time in the grand scheme of things to make the rest of your life better.
Yeah.
And,
Oh,
and I just wish more people could understand it before they had to do the work, so they could really see. Like, I wish I could put people in a machine or something and strap them up with some VR and just let them live a day in the body that they could have, so then I don't ever want to feel that body before ever again.
To this
yeah.
situation, I like to add like I saw one time. This when I saw it, it was in regards to getting a degree, right? The 4 years in college.
Hmm.
But they say like those 4 years are gonna go by anyway.
Yeah,
Like
the
unless
time
you
is going to go
have
by
like
anyway.
a miserable situation that, of course, cuts your time short, which God forbid it happens. The time that it would take you to change your life, those 8, 10 months, or maybe it's like 2 years. Those 2 years are gonna go by anyway. Like, so what are you? Why are you not taking those 2 years now before those 2 years become 3 or 4 or 5, or then later on it's probably a little bit too late. Like I had one of my first, actually my very first client, personal training ever. I think he's like 5'6", 230 pounds, big.
It's a big boy.
He took 2 years. He had a stroke. I was present when he had the stroke
Wait,
before
wait,
we
wait. He
started
had
working.
it like in front of you.
No, 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 no. Like, this
Oh,
was when I was working with my dad
you were
as
working with him though.
yeah, insurance agent. He's my dad's also like
Oh, okay,
boyfriend.
okay.
So also he was his previous boss. Long story. Anyway, we were there at a meeting for that job when he had a stroke middle of the meeting. So firemen came in, the ambulance came in, they took him. His blood pressure was extremely high, obviously. So then we started working together. It took him, yeah, I would say like a year and a half to lose 75 pounds, 74 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
But he's off high blood pressure medication. He's off pretty much all his medication. His cholesterol improved drastically. He now can live and retire happily and healthy and do more things that he used to do. I think this was what, uh, 7 years ago, 6 years
Yeah,
ago. So he was
and all,
like,
and that's all it took.
yeah, a year and a half.
S-
But
some
it took
months.
him a
A
stroke
stroke. Yeah.
and
Yeah, of course.
almost
Almost
parting
death.
away. So
Yeah,
also, people don't wait until the very last minute. Do
because
the
some
change.
most
Like
of most of y'all are not going to come out of that and have that
he
second
could have
chance.
not, and then he would have left his wife and his daughter in this world, and then that with that tragedy. So take the time now. If you have awful habits, if you come on, who doesn't know they have awful habits and they're not doing the right thing? It's not too hard to tell. Come on. So take you may not even need a year and a half for you to change your life completely. You may need just 6 months, especially with the things that are out nowadays. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah,
Like if I would have put
100%.
him on Red at True Tide back then, or if they would have been a thing, that year and a half I will surely be able to cut that in half.
7 months. Yeah, easy, easily.
Yeah. And he
And
was
that's
like,
a
it only takes what 30 days to build a habit. Is that what they say? Like 30 days,
21.
that's what they say.
21,
That's
something
what
like
they
that.
say.
But like if it's micro habits that are the important part. Like it's the
Hmm.
tiny little habits that you don't even think about. Like, well, I think about the first time that Caden told me to stop watching our blue lights 30 minutes before bed, I think, or something like that. And I was like, who does this motherfucker think he is? Like,
And that's what
I'm
I'm saying.
like I have 28 years on this planet, and I've been watching TV before bed all 28 years of my life, and I'm sleep just fine. Um, and then like
So
the
you
blue
thought.
light glasses come in, and then the TV goes off, and then it's like these micro habits that we put ourselves into. So
Hmm.
it's like I think people get caught up in the idea of like, oh, I have to lose 75 pounds in a year.
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
or what if you just thought about, hey, I need to wake up and walk for the first 30 minutes and I'm awake in the morning. That's a 30-minute
Yeah,
commitment that you have to make to yourself. And that's it. Like, no one's
yeah.
saying like anything else. And then the next thing you know, like, oh, 30 days later, you're walking 30 minutes every morning. And then all of a sudden you're getting 10,000 steps in a day. And then out of
Hmm.
nowhere, that 75 pound just drops off your body. It's like, so
Yeah,
it's not like these huge life changing events that we have to do. It's like these micro habits, like little tiny things that we have to convince ourselves that's worth 30 minutes of our time.
yeah. What would you say to, anybody that's in that position from the before? Because again, for me, it wasn't. I didn't have trouble with this, so I do have a hard time with people who, I didn't have trouble like just getting in and going. I think I was in such a miserable place. I really didn't have anything else to do, and COVID came around and there was really nothing else to do. So I don't have the best, starting point in terms of like advice there. But for you, like where you were before, what would you say to anybody who needs to start doing those things? Maybe even, getting a coach, anything like that. Like what was your biggest kind of, not motivator, because I hate that word, but your reasoning and what made you think like, okay, well, maybe I should start changing these little, even micro habits.
Yeah, so I think that what I would do is like, first try everything. I couldn't tell you like how many like little tiny things that I tried to do to try to find a hobby that I loved,
Yeah.
like painting, reading, crocheting, like literally all these crazy things. I've tried everything. I've tried pottery classes. I did like glass blowing classes. Like you name
That's
it,
a
I've tried
yeah.
it and be like, which one do I like?
Such
And
a
then
different such a different extreme from kickboxing, bro.
yeah. And then like all of a sudden I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna try kickboxing.
Hmm.
And then so I go into a first kickboxing class and was like, yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the kickboxing that was like super what I loved. It was like the community aspect and the health aspect and like my kickboxing. The guy who owned the gym was a former Colts player. Him and his wife, and like so like you had this mentality instantly of like fitness and health and like
Yeah.
professional athleticism and like all this stuff like that. And that's where it landed. Like it
Yeah.
took 2.5 years of
Hmm.
trying all these crazy things to finally find one that sticks. And who's to say it's not working out? And if it's not working out, that's cool. Um, but you can like if you're an avid reader, I read while I walk.
Yeah.
So like, like I read a book every time I walk. I walk the Monon and read a book at the same time. So
Same.
maybe I
I
accidentally
was
run
gonna
into
say he's
people.
just
Who
just like
cares?
you.
But but
True.
let's like
They shouldn't have
try
been
a
in your
bunch
way
of
then.
different. Yeah, get out of my way. It's a one-way street. Like but like try a bunch of different things. Eventually, you're gonna land on something that makes sense to you, that you
Yeah.
really really like. And the important thing about health and fitness is that at first it starts with mental health and mental fitness. And in order
Hmm.
for you to really get to be healthy as a physical person, you have to accomplish that ability to be healthy as a mental person.
Yeah.
And finding that habit that you really, really love and that hobby that just drives you towards happiness is going to be the catalyst for everything else that needs to come afterwards.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I got into kickboxing. I was not healthy still. Like I was vaping while at the gym, for Christ's sake, dude. Like, I was keto. Like, what the hell was I doing kickboxing? I had no carbs in my system, and I'm
Don't
out
know.
there doing cardio, straight up high intensity cardio for an hour and a
I
half.
don't
Yeah,
know.
stupid. But you know what? It got me started, and it got me to be having conversations and talking to people, and it got
Mm-hmm.
me to conversation with Caden and got coaching. So and it wasn't about being healthy. It was never about being healthy for me. It was never about fitness for me. It was about finding happiness. And I
Yeah.
think when you land yourself in happiness, everything else falls into place.
Yeah. And I think too, some people think that they have to like love the gym, you know? Dude, there's people that go
No,
in there every
God,
single
no.
day that just don't love it, you know? It's, yeah, if you're a bodybuilder, you probably love the gym, love training, you know, whatever, but that's a very small portion of the people who go to the gym. The problem becomes like you don't have to love it. You don't have to like be that doesn't have to be your favorite thing, whatever. But that leads most people into just going in there and going through the motions. And I feel like especially when we started, Travis, like you were sending me training videos and I was like, dude, this isn't going to get it done. And not because you want to be a bodybuilder at some point, not because you know wanted to do whatever, but because your main goal was to change your body, put on muscle. You're not going to get it done going in there and half-assing shit. So it's like whether you love it or whether you don't, like you said, Travis, it almost becomes a tool to be able to do the things you love in the way you want to do them. For me, that thing that I love doing is bodybuilding, and the gym and all that kind of stuff outside is the tools that I use to be very good at bodybuilding. That doesn't have to be your thing. I have a client who, he doesn't do kickboxing, he does BJJ. Just won a tournament the other day, right? Yeah, he's in the gym, 4 times a week, grinding there, going very hard, but he's using those as a tool to do something, completely different. So, and I think the mental part of things, like you were talking about doing, the art stuff and all that, like even if those are the things that you love, what do you need to be to, be really good at those things? You need to have concentration. You need to have consistency. You need to have the ability to do shit, fuck up a lot and continue to push through. Like all of those things that the gym
Yeah.
will going 110% in the gym will absolutely bring you, and outside the gym will bring you those mindsets, and you're going to see it be translate to everything else. How you do one thing is how you do everything, bro. And that's it's one thing I've noticed with especially like the car detailing thing. It's so funny when like I did it outside the gym one day. I was doing some guy's car, and everybody in the gym was like, damn, you guys are like really working hard at that, you take it serious, blah blah blah. And it's just like that is a it's funny to me that that would even be a thought in your head, because to me that's the only way to do it is 110%. There is no other way. So if people can get into that mindset and just know that they don't have to love it, it doesn't have to be their obsession, they don't have to become this fitness person and post it on social media. I made this post last year one time because I just feel like so many people nowadays with the internet, they see all these people posting their fitness stuff, and dude, we got literally fat people that are like, oh, I'm a trainer, and they post their content. It's like, dude, fuck off. But people think like, oh well, if I start going to the gym, I'm gonna have to post it and I'm gonna have to
Don't get me
do
started
this, and
on
it's just
fat
like it doesn't have
trainers.
to be like that.
Yeah.
You probably know the exact one I'm talking. Actually, you don't scroll too much, but dude, there's this guy and he's huge on Instagram, mostly from people making fun of him and stitching his videos. But his whole thing is like, I'm not trying to be my fitness goal isn't to get thinner.
Oh
It's
no.
it's and he'll do like these weird things, like he'll do like a stand on one foot on like a Bosu ball or something and like do some like barely above average like balancing thing and be like, this is what I do fitness for. And he's so fat, his stomach's hanging out of the bottom of his shirt. It's just bad. And I'm just like, dude, don't be that person. Definitely don't be that person. But use it as a tool,
No,
because you will
God,
be
no. No, but just talk
happier.
about like what you were saying though is like, I think
Sorry, I need to
about
go to the
like
bathroom. I'll be back.
You're good.
habits and behaviors of like these millionaires, and you hear and you read the
Mm-hmm.
books and see the like TV shows about all these millionaires and everything like that, and every single one of them that you'll ever read has something to do with their physicality in it. um Like whether
Yeah.
that's the first thing that they do in the morning is cardio, they're big on getting their steps in or something like that. So gym doesn't have to be your thing, but eventually if you choose happiness, physical fitness will be somewhere in the equation.
Yeah, and you don't have to like be some super avid lifter. Like you can do things like, you know, you can be a runner, you can be like, like we were talking about, you can do kickboxing, you can be a box. Just do something that forces your body to do hard shit. Because that's why those people do those things. Like fuck, even you said Jeff Bezos earlier. I mean, that dude popped out and got jacked. You know what I mean? So it's like, if nobody who
Yeah, out of
can't
nowhere.
handle their,
Well, I think he got
yeah,
his after divorce body. Yeah.
that's true. He's the type of people we were talking about earlier, the breakup guy. I wonder if he's still avid in the gym.
Well, your
But like
ex-wife
even,
steals hundreds of billions of dollars because you
yeah,
got divorced. I mean, I would probably want to get fit too. Yeah.
probably. And then there's people like, Wiz Khalifa did it too. It's like, just like I was talking about earlier, he had all of the money in the world. He's one of the most famous people ever. It wasn't, and I guarantee you, he was not in a place where he was truly happy until he started actually taking care of his body in that physical, health way. So yeah, it's probably, I think, one of the most important things, especially when it comes to mental health. I think that is a huge reason why, I don't think it is a huge reason why we're in the state we are in with our country and our mental health, and why, like suicide rates are so high. And Travis, I know we've talked about this, but like I've dealt with a lot of mental health and suicide and stuff in my family. And the two people closest to me that I've, seen come so far out of that, they only did that once they stopped, sitting around so much, started getting active, got in the gym, found something that they were passionate about, all these different things, started eating right. Like, man, if people could just understand that they could easily fix their, mental problems with, something as simple as activity and lifestyle habits. It's like, you are choosing in a sense to live that way, to an extent, at some point. If you're not taking care of those things, you have a responsibility to do that. And I think that the laziness and the gluttony that we have and that we see in the society is also just a complete waste. Like, there's people out here who are starving, no home, no shoes on their feet. Like, how dare you live this easy, comfortable, lazy, miserable life? I can't do it.
Yeah.
But other people are just so, our society has made people so content with the things that they've done a really good job. I'll give them that. They've done a real good job of convincing people that the things that we do right now are normal. Very good job. But now it's this, there's so
Well,
many of them.
keep them fat and complacent. They're easy to control, so that
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense. So.
And now there's too many people that there's like these, community, especially when we're talking about like obese people, right? There's just these communities online where it's like these people come together and back each other, and it's just like,
Oh, co-signing bullshit is like the motto of society nowadays. It's
I
like, you
swear,
want your bullshit co-signed, just post it on the internet. Someone's bound to see you're
someone's
living
gonna
a
love it.
perfectly good life. Yep.
Yeah, like imagine if instead of all of the body positivity, love yourself even if you're obese, this and that, and like all these people that are like, oh, I'm obese but I'm still fit. Like, imagine if you replace all of these people with crack addicts, right? And everybody's just posting on how much crack they do, and and then everybody's on there like, people would be like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're killing yourself. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It just takes a lot longer usually, when it comes to the, being
Yeah.
unhealthy. But it's like, it's so normal, and I don't get it. I don't get it, because I know how much I hated myself when I was a fraction of the size of some of these people, and no muscle, and just, chubby and fat. And but it is what it is. You can only, that's one thing that I've learned from coaching, is there's only so many people you can help. And it's frustrating because, you could help everybody, but some people just can't be saved. Justin definitely taught me that one, unfortunately, because beforehand I thought, if I can just get people going, but some people just, they don't care. They don't care.
Don't want to.
Mm-mm.
You can only help those that are willing to help themselves, and so
Exactly. But everybody has to find that point. You know, some people's rock bottom is a lot deeper. But yeah, I mean, I appreciate you coming on here. I know we're at like an hour 20. I'm sure Matias has to go here soon. But I'm glad that we got you on here and got to hear a little bit about, you know, your side of things. Like I said, I think it's important for people to hear from, you know, more people like you, and which is unfortunate you don't post more more on social media, but just people, you know, that you interact with in life and stuff too. I'm sure even people at the gym you don't even talk to coming up to you and telling you that just watching you do your thing is motivating to them. Like that's what it's all about. So every person that we, you know, have that's transforms and is more like, you know, you and us, the, you know, that's how we fight it. So I appreciate you for taking time and also being a very, very good client and friend as well. It's been awesome. And like you said, dude, we'll keep working and hopefully 2027 ish, maybe earlier. We'll see how you respond to the things we got in mind coming up next after this
yeah,
cut. But hopefully we see you on stage, and I'm excited for that. I'm very excited. You're progressing very well, so should be fun.
yep, super excited, man.
Yeah, Travis, thank you so much. It was amazing, an amazing story for sure. So, well, since you don't have social media, I'm sure I'll keep my eyes out for Caden's posts about you.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
He
I
he has it. He just don't get on there.
I have a Facebook, but I only use it to rage bait. So
It's the
unless
best
you're,
place to do it.
yeah.
Best place to do it.
Yeah.
So
The
unless you
best
want to
place to do
talk
it.
politics and get rage baited, then I would stay off my Facebooks.
That's the last thing I want to do.
Oh, Pat.
Always keeping it honest. But yeah,
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys. This was a good one. Again, episode 13. We will
I actually think it's 15 because I haven't posted the one from earlier this week. So, yeah, that
episode
was
15.
that. This is 15.
It's crazy. It's been a minute already.
Like,
But
dang.
yeah, we will see you back next week for episode 16. Apparently, I'm going to try to remember that next week so we don't do this again. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. Peace.
Yep. Thanks, guys.